People seem to get a little bit upset in the comments when I talk about maybe wanting to throw out a diagnosis. But what I've seen over my years as a complex trauma therapist is that people will come in with many different diagnoses. It can be maybe all of a sudden they think they have ADHD, or they have anxiety, or they have PTSD, or they have anxiety disorder or insomnia. And when I say to not worry so much about the diagnosis, it's not that I don't believe the cluster of symptoms. It's that there's a diagnosis that goes, we can give someone a diagnosis for ADHD or anxiety or burnout. The symptoms can look very similar. They're based on patient report. There's no testing that gets done. It's just kind of a diagnosis based on report of symptoms. So while those diagnoses exist and the symptoms are real, what I tell people is to not get too hung up on the diagnosis, because if we get to the root of the problem, most of it can fall away when we work on calming the nervous system overdrive, because that causes a lot of problems in the cognitive function, like as seen in ADHD, the emotional dysregulation that we see with anxiety and depression. I just don't believe that people should base their identity on a diagnosis. And I think too often those diagnoses become very limiting. They tell people that based on this diagnosis, this is just how you are. You're going to be experiencing X, Y, and Z, when the reality is you can really get to the bottom of that, and you'd see a lot of those symptoms fall away just by regulating the nervous system and by really getting better emotional regulation. Some of us just didn't have those templates for how to move through big emotions early on. And so we become overwhelmed with our own emotions, and that causes a lot of internal distress. So that's my take on it. Stay joyful and present.